muy raro. Estamos en la cava del restaurante Pikayo en el hotel Condado Plaza. Como se habrán dado cuenta, tenemos a Guaino que está tratando de tomarse todas las botellas del Guiro Bennett aquí. Y estamos con una invitada que nos va a hablar de una bodega muy importante en Napa Valley, una bodega que acaba de llegar, por así decirlo, a Puerto Rico de la mano de Guillermo Ramis y su proyecto Ambrosia Fine Wines. Y obviamente el Guillermo Ramis Selection, lo hemos entrevistado a Guillermo en el programa. Now we're going to switch into English for the benefit of our guests.
Yes, and I'm sorry I don't speak Spanish.
No, don't worry about it. So before getting into the wines and the winery itself, tell us about you. Tell us about your background. When did you start in the wine world?
Yeah, well, I was fortunate and grew up in California, in San Francisco,
Okay.
but actually didn't really have much of a history.
We should have started with your name, Mary.
Yeah, Marie.
Marie.
Yeah,
Okay.
Marie Durr.
Okay, Marie Durr.
Yeah,
Okay, nice.
exactly.
It's
And
very
so,
fancy.
yeah.
Keep going.
Well, I basically, sort of fell into the wine business.
Right.
And it's one of those things in life you never know how you're gonna go from one profession to the other. I
Right.
worked in politics and
Oh, you did?
yeah, in Washington D.C.
Oh, great. I used to
and
live
the
there.
government. Yeah, I worked in government.
Nice.
And
We have to talk about that off camera.
that's right.
Okay, keep going.
But I basically married a man from Napa Valley, and
Nice.
so that's how I ended up moving up there.
Okay.
And they liked my international experience and government experience, and they said, you know what, we can teach you the wine.
So public speaking comes natural to you.
It does, kind of, yes. It does, exactly. I mean, I think it's been one of those, great things. I was given a great opportunity to learn all about this business, and I
Right.
went to school, took a lot of classes.
What do you like better, politics or wine?
Oh, probably wine is probably more fun and less controversial now.
And in the wine world, you can share a bottle
Yeah.
with perhaps a person with whom you don't share the same political views, right?
Sure.
And maybe you don't share the same religious views. But you can still
And
enjoy
still
it.
enjoy
a bottle.
a great bottle of wine.
So tell us about Merus.
Yeah, Merus. Well, Merus was a winery that basically got started out of somebody's garage. When
Really?
you hear about these kind of stores, wineries just starting out of somebody's home, and basically it was a young couple. They had a 2-car garage at their house, and they started making wine.
And where does the name come from? What does it mean, Merus?
Merus actually is a name. It means pure.
Oh, pure.
Pure and heightened awareness type of thing.
So I can say I have a Merus heart.
That's
A
right.
Merus
Good.
soul.
Yes.
Wine doesn't have a Merus heart.
No.
It's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, continue.
But they, it started out really small, but basically in the garage, and they just bought fruit from this amazing vineyard out in Coonsville,
Okay.
and decided actually to start kind of on a little bit. They bought a lot of fruit, and then they started processing it and taking a look at all the different lots and the different clones, and they decided to pick out what they considered to be the best lots.
Okay, and the winery produces just one wine, the Cabernets
One
wine.
wine, exactly.
Okay,
One
so
wine.
it's focused, it's driven, it's concentrated, it's aimed at Cabernet Sauvignon.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
We just had a tasting. We tasted 4 different wines, and the wines were just unbelievable. These wines, the first 2 wines, we had a 98 and 99,
Right.
and then we had a 09 and a 2010.
And the 1998 was the very first vintage,
First vintage.
of the winery itself.
So they've been around for 15 years,
Yeah.
right? And Paul Hobbs worked for a little while at this
Yes,
winery.
exactly.
He's a very well-known, famous winemaker from out of Napa Valley. And now you have David Ramey.
Yes.
David Ramey happens to make among my favorite Napa caps in terms of QPR, quality price ratio. Those David Ramey wines are just fantastic. So tell us about the 4 wines, starting with the 98, then the 99. How would you characterize, how would you describe these wines?
Well, the 98, as I mentioned, the first vintage, this is something that started out really small. 98, you might remember, was a very difficult vintage in Napa Valley. That was the year of El Nino, where we had so much rain, so much cold weather. And they thought, the vintage was sort of doomed from, by the fall of that year, everyone thought that was going to be a horrible year for all of winemaking. But I think in the end, it sort of has come out and risen and really surprised
The
so
wine
many
was
wine
fantastic. You know what I got in those, particularly the older wines? I got this notes of minty freshness, little olive They're very French in terms of the elegance, the finesse. The tannins are very mellow and very well integrated into the fruit. They were just spectacular. The 98, I think, is so fresh.
It was. It was tasting fabulous.
You know what I thought? What I thought about? What I was reminded of those mint, like after 8 mint chocolate.
Yeah.
Like the chocolate with mint
A little
inside,
bit of that
mint cream.
cocoa and mocha flavors in the wine. Yeah,
It's just delicious.
that's it can be characteristic of Cabernet
Yeah.
as it ages.
Yeah, and then it also had that cassis note
Yeah.
and the black cherry.
Black cherries and blackberry flavors as well.
You're a Cabernet lover.
I do. I love Cabernet. I really do.
And then tell us about the 99.
The 99, so we kind of had to, we felt like we bounced back with the 99. That was really considered a normal year for Napa Valley, but I think also equally spectacular wines.
Yeah.
We really had, this one we made a little bit more. This is about 230 cases. This is about 350 cases. Still a very small production.
Yeah.
But certainly, again, focused on really high quality from that.
And it seems to me that obviously, since we have a person behind this project who's not doing this for money, who's doing this as a personal quest, you guys can focus on getting the best product out for your clients, for your customers. And those two older wines were just fantastic.
Exactly. I mean, this is really about the art of winemaking. It really is. It's about getting the best quality fruit. Everything is very hands-on, hand sorting, berry sorting. I mean, this is about taking it to really a new level
Right.
of just creating the best wine possible.
And getting into the newer wines, obviously there's a decade, more than a decade between these two bottles and then these two. What can you tell us about the 09 and the 2010?
Yeah, I mean, the 09, I think, is still, what we consider, compared to these wines, still quite young and ripeness, but, certainly has that wonderful, nice elegance as well. The 2009 was also a nice, good vintage. We had a few heat spikes, but, it did showcase quite well. And actually, this is where we slowly started increasing production. So now we'll see a little bit more 2009 Merus, but still all of these wines, this is about 1,000 cases. So really quite small still in retrospect.
The 2010 for me is a beast.
Yeah,
It's massive. And at 14.7, it has even less alcohol than the 2009, but it goes to show that the vintage was just so amazing. And all of these wines are 90 plus points. This is 95 points.
95
right?
points.
Yeah,
These are all 90. I think these are both 93s. This is 94.
Yeah, this is high end stuff.
These are, this is certainly, and Robert Parker.
Top notch.
It is, exactly.
Cream
Top
of the
notch.
crop. The 2010, to me, is just a massive wine, but it has this elegance, this finesse, this creaminess. It's very approachable right now, but it has a long life ahead, and it's power and elegance combined. And it's like having Shaquille O'Neal in his letters.
Right?
Like,
Exactly.
Like a fashion Rome. It's power and grace.
It is.
It's just a delicious wine.
Yeah, they're really elegant. I think what we try to achieve is a nice balanced wine. These are all aged in French oak, really virtually 100% new French oak. So it's really taking that, balancing that French oak along with the fruit components to create these wonderful wines.
First time in Puerto Rico?
It is. I'm thrilled to be here.
When do you go back home?
I'm here for a whole week. So
Oh,
I'm
really?
back on Monday, the next Monday.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're going to be in another events, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I know. Guillermo told me.
That's right. I'm going to go and meet a lot of people here and at various events.
You have to try our local cuisine.
Yes,
We
I
have
plan to.
very rich, textured, spicy food.
Yeah.
And it would pair amazing with this
With
Cabernet.
this wine.
Amigos, gracias por seguirnos, como siempre. Estuvimos con Mary Dare de Merus, la bodega de Napa Valley, que simplemente hace un producto maravilloso. Se puede conseguir a través de Ambrosia Fine Wine y Guillermo Ramis Selection aquí en Puerto Rico. Gracias por sintonizarnos, gracias por darnos su apoyo. Ya estamos sobrepasando las 50 entrevistas en el canal, así que estamos muy agradecidos de su apoyo. Que pasen unas buenas noches si nos están viendo de noche y gracias por sintonizarnos otra vez. Hasta luego.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much.